Hello and welcome. This is Israel Lopez, and in this video, I want to show you how to use ShipWorks with Fishbowl Inventory. Let's get started. We're going to cover integration basics, how orders are downloaded from Fishbowl and into ShipWorks, what it's like to process an order inside of ShipWorks, and posting tracking information back to Fishbowl. Let's talk about integration basics. After you've installed the ILC ShipWorks Integrator, you need to think about how licensing will apply to ShipWorks. The basic rule of thumb is that one Fishbowl database or company is equal to one ShipWorks store inside of ShipWorks. Originally, we were thinking about setting up multiple ShipWorks stores as location group connections. However, that became prohibitive because you'd have to be paying for additional licensing. If you wanted to segment certain orders to certain groups of people across the United States or across warehouses, we can do that using filters inside of ShipWorks. But for now, just remember that one Fishbowl database equals to one ShipWorks store. Let's talk about connections. The ILC ShipWorks Integrator is in the middle between ShipWorks and Fishbowl, bridging the two. However, ShipWorks may have just one ShipWorks installations, which would count as your client and server, or you have one server and multiple client installations sharing information amongst the three of them in this example. However, the server doesn't make the connections to ShipWorks, to the ILC ShipWorks Integrator. The clients do. So you may have multiple connections being made to the ILC ShipWorks Integrator, and therefore Fishbowl, and you need to make sure that the connections between the three systems are open. If you have a VPN or the cloud in the middle of them, you just need to make sure that the ports are open and talk to your IT administrator or us, and we'll be able to help you along. Next, let's talk about data maps. The ShipWorks Integrator will expose the Fishbowl sales order shipments to ShipWorks, and will only send down the packed or entered shipments from Fishbowl. We don't think it's a usable or good idea to send over already shipped shipments to ShipWorks if we've already marked them as shipped. Think of it as will calls. That's one reason why we wouldn't want to do that, and they'd be already picked up and sent away. Secondly, we also send down the sales order number, the shipment number, and the customer PO as in separate notes in the ShipWorks Integrator. We also send down the shipment carrier, the ship to and bill to, and the ship to residential flag. Now, this is important for FedEx and UPS to be able to rate accurately whether an address is being sent to a business or residence. And finally, we pull in the customer default email and phone. Now, all of this data can be changed for your installation, and that's covered in our 1-hour implementation call. Next, we're going to talk about the shipments being uploaded from ShipWorks and into Fishbowl. Currently, ShipWorks sends us the tracking amount, the tracking number, the amount, the carrier, and the shipment date. We post the tracking number and the amount back to the shipment on the first carton. We currently do not have a way to automatically create additional cartons in Fishbowl to describe how many tracking numbers were used to ship a shipment. Thirdly, we don't use the carrier or the date currently because there's not a really good way to expose that information into Fishbowl. So whenever it's been marked as shipped, that's when we actually ship it in Fishbowl. Let's talk about actually using ShipWorks in Fishbowl and Fishbowl Inventory. We're going to start from the perspective of right after you set up the store. So I'm going to click on Next and go through that process, just like we did in the installation video. And after orders have been downloaded, now we can start processing orders inside of ShipWorks. You can see in the notes below that we've set up separate notes for individual fields such as customer PO, order number, and shipment number. Currently, ShipWorks only understands a numeric shipment order number, so we can't use the shipment number or the order number in order to describe the sales order number or the shipment number that we have in Fishbowl. So this number that you see here is an internal ID number from Fishbowl, and that's what we use to communicate and keep references aligned. Secondly, in order to process a shipment, you right-click and process a shipment. Now, ShipWorks uses a lot of what I call rules to process shipments inside of ShipWorks. You may apply a default carrier rule to speed up shipments, or you may want to apply that orders above 50 pounds use UPS, order below 50 pounds uses FedEx, and orders below 1 pound uses USPS. That sort of information is available in the data that we send back and forth. We're going to use UPS, and we're going to specify our package dimensions. I think these pounds are a little too high. Let me change that to 20 pounds. Postal code. Okay, so this is exactly part of the integration, validating addresses. To Oregon. Let's change this. Maybe this is not going to work in terms of addresses. I've paused and recontinued this video after I fixed some of the address information settings related to ShipWorks and UPS. And now I have a list of services and rates that I can use. And I'm going to use UPS Ground for now. I'm going to go ahead and create a label. Hopefully it'll allow me to process the shipment. And I'm going to click on Close. When the upload shipment details occur, I should be able to go to sales order S50061 in Fishbowl and see that information is posted directly to Fishbowl. Let's navigate there now. And the information about my package has been sent over and marked as shipped inside of Fishbowl. No additional work was needed in order to do that. If you have any additional questions on how to modify or improve this application, please visit us at our FB user group at fbusergroup.com. Thank you and take care.